Okay, next on the agenda, posture, dynamic posture. Observe Jack right here. Look at the flex in his knees. And you're going to see a tremendous amount of players like that on tour. So for many of you, this posture feels like this. Because the way you're starting out, because the ball is very static, if I'm waiting in line for my coffee, well, I'm not going to wait in line like this. Give me my coffee. I'm going to wait in line standing nice and tall. So it takes all the strain and stress off my structure. The head with shoulders, hips, knees, and ankles, everything stacks up and all my muscles are relaxed. If I lean back just a tad without taking a step, now I feel my abs, my quads, everything gets tight because my brain doesn't want me to fall over. As soon as I come into balance, everything is nice and relaxed. So the ball isn't moving. It's inviting you to be with it and not move. Oh, this feels great. Yep, I could be here for a while, no problem. That's the trap. So then you get used to you start hitting shots like that and you think it's normal, and then you'll realize that this is much more effective. Why is that? Now, this is very much, if you look at Jason Day, Jack Nicklaus, like I just showed you in the book, you're going to see a lot of players in a more dynamic posture at address. Now, compared to this, when you get into this posture here, it'll feel like you're like this. So you're not going to go there unless you see yourself. So put yourself in front of a mirror or get somebody to video your posture, and you will be flabbergasted by what you see. It never fails for my students. I'll show you two pictures here, and you see the very minute difference between the two address positions. And it feels like going from here to here. And typically when I show the second picture to a student, they'll say, no, that's my original posture. And then I show them the original posture and their mouths drop to the ground. So I'm getting into a dynamic posture, and the way you identify this is if I was going to heave a sandbag into the back of a pickup truck over here. Well, I can't really heave a bag from here, can I? So I'm going to have to come down, engage my glutes and my quads, and I'm going to take this sandbag now and I'm going to be able to heave it into the back of the truck. Well, for a 200-pound person, one arm is 9% of your body weight times 2 plus a club. Let's call it 40 pounds. So you take 40 pounds and you're going to swing this at very high speeds. You better be ready for the, for the pull of the G-force. So now I get into my dynamic posture. Now my body is ready to counteract, to give it some centripetal force to this centrifugal force. And I'm going to allow, now I can really take this club and give it a ride. So let's say I was throwing the club to the target. And this is where we talked about the weight shift and the body turn. So critical that you understand how this works so that you can forget about it. We're built for it already. If you have to think about how to shift your weight or clear your hips, you are massively wasting your time. It requires the proper focus for this. So let's say I'm skipping a stone on water. I'm going that way. Well, the first thing my brain's going to do is it's going to go get the ground. Try it. I'm going to skip a stone. Most of you don't even know what's going on. When I ask my students, go ahead, and they'll do this, and they'll say, well, where'd you let go of the stone? They say, right about here. And then I show them on video, and they're letting go of the stone right there. And their body's facing the pond, and the weight's on the front side. And I ask them, well, when did the weight shift? And they go, well, about here. The weight shifts way before you start. So if you're snapping a punch, you'll notice boxers are bouncing around because they're getting ready to use the ground for that next punch. The punch comes from the ground up. If I took a harness, wrapped it around your chest and lifted you this far off the ground, you'd be, wailing at everything. You wouldn't have any kind of power. The power comes from the ground. So I'm going to throw a stone over this way. My brain goes to the ground so it can use the ground to get the body out of the way. Why? If you look at my long irons video, I talk about that, range of motion. Your shoulders only have 20 degrees. So if you don't turn the body, you're going to hit yourself. Don't hit yourself. Go that way. Got it. Got it. Yep, I just skipped my stone over there. Now, if you're trying to place the stone onto the ball, why would your body move? Your target's right there in front of you. So you're not going to shift your weight. You're not going to clear your hips. You're not supposed to. There's the ball. You're facing the ball right there. And on top of that, you're trying to manipulate the club to meet the ball through all these manipulations and positions. Instead, you want to release the club to the target. So two very specific systems that I want you to pay attention to. If I'm a surgeon, like I have many doctors as my students, who are, several of them are surgeons. One of them in particular, we had a great time talking about this because he's a plastic surgeon and he reattaches limbs for a living. Like when somebody has a real bad issue, that's the guy they call. So I asked him, I said, are you tap dancing around your station when you're doing your work? And he says, yeah, I know where you're coming from, Shawn. I have a very specific height to my table. I have very special pillows that my hands and arms go on. And I have, you know, my microscope that is just so, and I'm getting ready to be still like the stillest of statues so I can perform my manipulation. Well, the lumberjack or the baseball hitter, could you imagine? I'm trying to hit my home run and I don't move my body. I'm just going to hit myself and I'd be black and blue. So a lumberjack or a baseball player, they're getting ready to perform a very specific task with the weight of the instrument. You ever notice? You go play baseball, you haven't been in that area before, and somebody asks you to come and play ball, and then you see all the bats lined up. First thing you're going to do is you're going to weigh the bats. You're going to say, this feels too heavy, and that feels too light. Why? Well, you know how much a ball weighs, and you know what you're going to do with that ball if you're an experienced player. You want to be able to have a weight that you can move with some good authority, and you want to be able to use this weight to compress that baseball. So if I'm a lumberjack with an axe, I've got my axe here in my hands and I'm getting ready to deliver a blow to the side of the tree, I'm not going to do that. Immediately the brain taps into the weight of this thing and gets the heck out of the way so that your arms don't hit you. So notice how my rib cage and my pelvis moved out of the way, and now I've gathered all this energy to deliver a nice blow into the tree. So notice how my hips have freely moved. Why? Because I actually have to use the ground with my legs to move this rib cage out of the way. Ground, that moves my rib cage and pelvis out of the way, so I have access to the pond. Well, what about the backswing? Same deal. So I heave so I don't let the left arm hit me in the backswing. And now I can use the weight of the axe. Now, if I let the axe fall without moving the body, I can't get there. See that? There's no way. Everything collapses into my body. So what the brain has to do, as the axe is gathering, it goes to the ground, uses the ground to get the body out of the way, so you got access to the tree. All you got to think about is let the axe hit the tree. Isn't that simple? All you got to do is let the club come through. So I use cutting grass. This is a grass cutting tool first and foremost. So I'm getting ready with my posture, and I'm going to allow the weight of my instrument to cut grass in the direction of my target. How simple is that? So, because I see continuity, I don't see a ball, I see cutting grass that way. My brain now says, oh, you're going to use the weight of your instrument to cut grass? I can do that. And then you go, oh, yeah, I want to make sure I hit the ball. Be careful, watch out. I don't want to shank it, I don't want to top it, I don't want to hit the ground before the ball. And now you're in this massive manipulative state. Your brain's going to go, oh, looks like you're trying to place this on the ball. Let me freeze everything for you. I'll take care of it. Now you got no swing. And the more you try, the worse it gets. So what you want is you want to allow the weight of the instrument. You feel the weight of the instrument. That's why you'll see Jack Nicklaus get into this gorgeous waggling. Ben Hogan had this gorgeous waggle. And you'll see how they're getting ready to deliver the action. So I feel the weight of the instrument, I gather it, and I release the weight of the instrument towards my target. Pretty simple, no? And then all this time, this brain, and they say 12 million things per second. I just saw a video, it's called 60 trillion things per second. Whatever it is, it's in the millions for sure. So for you to think about what you need to do with your body parts would be incredible sabotage. Stick to a purpose. I want to go that way. How? Well, I want to use the weight of my instrument to go that way. So if you're using the weight of the instrument to go that way, you will shift, you will clear. Now, you need a dynamic posture to do that. You see why that's important? I can't do it from here. I'm not in a position that would allow me to shift and clear adequately with my anatomy from here. This is where I need to be so I can use the ground to gather and let release to my target. And that's what's going to increase your system and really allow it to perform well. I hope you enjoyed that. Keep putting your mind around that. I got some great stuff coming along the pipe. We're going to continue the series, but I got to let you digest. I can't give you the whole buffet. I don't want you to choke. So we're going to let you digest this nice and smoothly, and then you'll see. You'll see a beautiful evolution on this machine sending a ball that way. Enjoy.